All right. Welcome everyone to the Monday, November 24th meeting of the Pine Bluffs Town Council. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business is the agenda approval.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Now on to new business. We'll start with the discussion. The proposed update to the Pine Bluffs Code of Ordinances, Chapter 20, zoning. Kim has made all of the changes from our last few meetings. So I think there were just a few things hanging out that you maybe had questions on, and if anyone else had questions. Start there.
Yeah, I think the one of the things that was still kind of hanging out there is for zones A and B, or A1 and B1 that allow livestock. It just really doesn't match up with what we're proposing out at Prairie View, and I think one of the things that we were very cognizant of when we were working the Prairie View ordinance, piece of the ordinance, was having enough space for a large animal, like a horse. And while I think that there are a lot of lots in Zone A1 that have plenty of space, there are a few houses that would be questionable as to whether or not they would have enough space. So just, want to be sure that we think through, like, do we want to make it the same as the Prairie View, as far as the space required for a horse or a cow or goats or whatever, or are we good with leaving it at the current 7,500 square feet per animal? And I understand that there are people that are already living in that zone, but I really don't know of anybody out there other than, the one address that maybe has some goats at it. But what about, I don't know that I've seen any horses or cows out in that area in a very long time. And we could certainly grandfather people in that already have animals.
Yeah. I'm in favor of the continuity of making the existing part of town fit the rules of Prairie View, because I think you're right. There was a lot of thought put into that.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So, and I can make those changes, and again, this isn't our first reading.
Right.
So, we can, vote on that at the first reading, but.
This is primarily south of the interstate, but there is a couple blocks north, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think I have an issue with that either.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the one family that I know of that did have a horse out there, they had 2 acres anyway, so they wouldn't have been affected by this change anyway.
Right.
So, okay, super.
looked like it was, do you still have a question on 603, Kim?
Oh, yes. This is under the commercial zone. Our final determination.
That number F.
Yes. And I don't know what my question was on that. I know we had talked about it, and the comment is attached to the word side, but it's really the whole paragraph.
Oh.
Because I think that it really depends on like where that location is in the commercial district. I think that like anything along Main Street would be impossible to have any kind of yard on all side of it. Or you'd be really restricting the use of that lot, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to just kind of omit that paragraph, or, I think provided that we have enough space between structures, you know, for fire apparatus and all that, that,
Yeah.
Would you expect to see something like this in zoning ordinance for commercial property in other small communities, or not?
I think that's actually where I got
Got it
this
from.
verbiage from, I think, so. But after I thought about it for our community, it just didn't seem to make sense to me, at least in this commercial district, on like around Main Street or Parsons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have allowed for exclusion of like pre-existing conditions.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But I guess what I'm thinking of is, let's say we have somebody that wants to build over there across from Alphabet Academy. You know, we have some empty lots there, and say somebody wants to put in a small apartment building. You know, I just don't want to be so restrictive that, you know, if they were to conform to the other buildings on that block, then they would be very close to the sidewalk, as opposed to, you know, I just don't want to restrict
What can go there?
what could
Yeah.
possibly go there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're okay with the 6 foot on each side, you're just thinking about the 20 feet off the curb?
I think the 20 feet off the curb is a big one, and the 6 feet on either side, I think, is important if you
Yeah.
were to be like right up next to the, whatever, the physical therapy building, you know, you'd want some space in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for,
And so when I say 6 feet on the side, I mean, it doesn't have to have like a 6-foot yard, it just needs a 6-foot space between it and the other, another building, another
For
structure.
fire defense and
For,
that sort of
yes,
thing.
yeah.
what do you think, it seems to me, like if I'm picturing that area, like, do you think they're 10 off of the curb?
Probably like the front of the, you're thinking like the front of that physical therapy building?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, because
like
that's a pretty wide
the old
sidewalk
lumber
right
yard or
there.
whatever that is.
Probably should be a minimum of 10, shouldn't it?
I would think
Yeah.
so,
I
yeah,
think 10 seems like a good number that allows for like a sidewalk and
okay.
the right of way.
Yeah, it's still considered town right-of-way
Right,
up to
yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I did, under the manufactured home parks, I did have that paragraph, if roads are to be dedicated to the town. Well, first of all, there isn't a sidewalk at the existing mobile home
Yeah.
park, so,
And I think that probably it's probably unlikely that if you put in a mobile home park, there are sidewalks.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I just don't think that we would have one in an area where there are other sidewalks anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's it that I had left over for questions. There was one change that I didn't make to this that I realized after I had already sent it out to everybody, and that was that, changing that one area to a 40-foot setback in Prairie View for those mixed-use lots, but I remembered it after the fact, so I'll make sure that that's in there for the first reading.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on the ordinance? Comments, concerns? The only thing I had was, when you refer to a drainage plan, do we have an idea of what that will look like?
Yes.
Okay.
So we actually went over a sample of it a long time ago, but I never got it finalized, but I will have it finalized for the next meeting.
That was just really my only question.
Yep, yep.
Any further discussion?
It was actually, we did it through what was called a grading permit.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Wasn't that part of the, where the town
The
reviewed
stormwater,
yeah, the
yeah.
stormwater master plan?
yes, and then we had the stormwater ordinance, but that was put on hold for a while. But it doesn't mean that the grading, permit has to be put on hold. We can move forward with that. That was a separate item. And we tried to scale it down, so it was very, yeah, very simple.
Perfect. Right. We'll move on to the next item of business, the building permit for 927 East 10th.
The mayor asked me to move this to new business. On the building permit, he doesn't have, like, how far it's set back from the road or property lines. He's not sure yet because they're gonna bring it in on a pallet and, situate it. I'm assuming it's already pre-built. But the owner did say it would be at least 6 feet from the property line, if not more. So I made a note of that on the building permit for the files. So we know that,
Yeah, and the property owner did inform me that it's on like skids. It's like
Yes.
movable, so
yeah,
I think that probably helps mitigate any sort of,
any kind of easement or issue
Yeah.
or
yeah.
right of way or anything like that, so.
Yep.
I would ask you to vote on that at this point, I guess.
All right.
Is this the one up in the Bluffs?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
I talked to the mayor at length on this one. So, whatever that
That weird,
is up there, it's not ours.
the weird road situation that doesn't
Right.
belong to us.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, where we landed on that was, if it's the decision to, approve the building permit, might wanna send that with some kind of MOU or advisement or something that, it doesn't meet the current design standards for the town, cause it's 20. But since it's not our road, we can't do anything about it. But it could possibly impair us taking over that road, which is what they're always wanting us to do.
Oh, sure.
And if that were to happen, we'd be back to where we were a couple of weeks ago with the one up here.
So should we base the placement on property lines then?
Well, I don't know that we have a dog in the fight. I mean, I don't think that area is organized enough to have, covenants and setbacks and that kind of thing. So we need to be cognizant of fire suppression issues, be the main thing. And, you know, as long as it doesn't constitute a hazard to a person and property, then our job is pretty much done. However, I don't know that anybody else is that close to the road up there. So right now, and we couldn't tell for sure, but we think, you know, if there was an issue where we, for whatever reason, had, you know, decided to be generously stupid and take over the thing, that would probably block it because we'd have an encroachment to deal with. So as long as they know that, then I think that's the kind of thing that we were missing on the last one that we ought to do on this one, so we don't have that problem. That's, and the mayor wanted me to just convey that to the body. So,
I guess, from my perspective, the fact that it is a movable structure would give us some latitude to address that down the road.
yeah, and that's what he thought too. Sometimes they become unmovable,
That's true.
but,
Yeah.
yeah.
And pour concrete around it.
Yeah, exactly, you know, so.
I've got one of those.
Just, you know, going in with our eyes open, that's the
Yep.
main thing.
Appreciate that.
I'll move to approve the building permit for 927 East 10th Street.
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the building permit for 927 East 10th Street. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to visitor comments. I believe you guys are here to speak to us tonight.
You want us to go to the mic?
Please, yeah.
I appreciate you guys allowing us to speak with the council. We've got some rather good news. First and foremost, I guess I should identify, my name is Tim Forbes. We've been to the council before. I ran last year with John Eklund, unfortunately, he's passing and stuff. But anyway, as a member of the Masonic Lodge here, we are now under contract. So the building will be sold, hopefully depending upon the outcome of some of the discussions we have with the city and some of the proposals we like to do with it. I'm going to be involved in the site plan and proposal and stuff. This is partner Wyatt Wilson, Wilson Construction. I'll have him give you some paperwork, some details and some fun stuff, yeah. And see if we might make the town a little bit brighter instead of having something that's a little, as we like to say, cosmetically challenged. And the nice part is what you were talking about with redoing the ordinance number 20. It kind of falls right in line with, we were back there sitting in our chairs, kind of jumping up and down a little bit. Yes. Because we ran into some of those issues regarding that corner that will bring to the forefront for you and hopefully help you with some of those decision-making opportunities with that ordinance.
So I have some sketches of the existing plot plan. I'm just gonna kinda set them here and figure out what I got going on here. I had to make copies in a hurry, my printer broke, so I went down to Capital Lumber and they made copies for me.
That's a problem that's going around.
Yeah. I can't tell what he did here. So, this is the 4-unit, the way the 4 units layout that we had been thinking about.
That's the one we saw a few years ago.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. We, that was more of a concept. This is definitely solidified. More that we can actually get it done.
And we actually looked at the difference between a 4-unit and a 5-unit.
So that's the 4-unit. We would prefer the 5-unit, which is this layout here. And it brings us a little closer to Main Street and a little closer to the alley. but we still have a 20-foot setback from our property line and a 22-foot setback from the curb, so that actually gives us 42 foot in the front. Thank you.
Good.
We would actually like to move the whole structure forward towards Main Street and have some parking in the back, possibly. One of the other things we want to do is replat this so we can sell them separately if we decide to in the future.
We
So
think,
we would do 5 separate lots.
right, and we think that that would bring into line a little bit more of affordable housing with the price point that we're looking to get on it. We're looking at keeping as many of those units as possible under the 300,000 mark. So they would be brand-new construction. Right, that's the goal.
This multi-level dwelling?
Yeah, it would be 2-story. We're kicking around the idea, this is just the existing, that's where the building is sitting on the lot now. And then this is the curb here.
And we have some elevation pictures that'll come your way here in a
I
minute.
have a whole bunch of stuff for you.
So these are
We're getting a little more serious
Yes.
about it, so you get pictures.
Thank you.
Correct.
That's cool. That's what I'd like to go out more.
I apologize for my handwriting, but, you know,
We,
No, it looks good.
we talked about
30
that.
years of power tools, my thumbs don't work. One of our biggest concerns was the setbacks to allow us to do what we want to do.
You want me to do that?
What's that?
You want me to do that while you're
Yeah.
talking? That way you're on the record?
Okay. One of our other concerns, it sounds like the setbacks with your new ordinance aren't going to be a problem. The other concern is the number of parking spots available. We assume that we need 2 per unit, which is kind of just rule of thumb for every year we've been in, but the current parking spots along 4th Street are 16 feet wide. If we made them match what's at the CRMC building just to the east, then we could do enough, we would have 10 spots available for 5 units, if that would be all right. I didn't know, yeah. Our other concerns, of course, are infrastructure like sewer, water. You know, is there enough water available there, like volume-wise in your water main for us to be able to build it? Yes? So we could do 5 3/4-inch taps without a problem? And then 5 3-inch taps or 4-inch taps in the sewer, all of that's good? Okay, and it's in Main Street or
I
is it
will
4th Street?
verify that, but I don't see that as being a problem. I
Okay.
don't have my computer in front of me, or I could tell you where it is, I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, well.
The
it could be
sewer
right
is
there.
in the alley.
Oh, it is, okay. I saw there's a manhole in the middle of 4th Street. And I couldn't tell if it was lined up on the alley or if it was lined up on 4th Street.
Right. I'm not sure where that building connects.
Right. We know we have 1 tap for sure, there may be
Yeah.
2,
Yeah,
there may be 2 taps.
but once I get to my laptop, I can pull up our.
Okay. And then,
see
you know, gas service, is that provided by
Black Hills,
Black Hills? Okay.
sorry.
And then, of course, the electrical is High West, correct?
No, it's the town.
Is it down? Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's enough electrical at that point. There's a large, junction box there in the corner, which I think would carry enough amperage and voltage wattage to run the 5 new units as opposed to just that one old building, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you our public works director's number,
Okay,
and you and him can talk directly about all that, but.
that sounds good. I forgot to bring my business card in, although I think I have your email still. We talked
Yeah.
briefly about the Prairie View plan
Mhm.
when we were thinking about, doing all kinds of stuff. So, did you take them all away?
Which one do you want?
I want so the first one you see is the, elevations, just kind of some AI rendering of what it would look like in the front. If you look at the Laramie County Wyoming map server ones, yeah, I think you have this one. So if you look at this one, this is existing, that's kind of where it is. The property lines that are denoted on the website are not in the right place. They're skewed to the north about 6 or 8 feet, I can't really tell.
Right, yeah.
So if you skip to the next page, that is what I would need. I need to fence that off and for demolition. So I would fence that off for probably about a week. So I'd have to close the parking spots just like 3 of them along Main Street and then all of them along 4th Street. I don't know if there's a lot of traffic there. I mean, I can provide signs and all of that stuff, you know, road closed or lane closed, whatever we wanna do, sidewalk closure, things like that, so. I did have a thought that maybe they do, you know, physical therapy from the
We don't
CRMC building or
right now.
something, I'd have to
We do
coordinate
right
with them,
down
so they
at
can't be walking
the
that way,
clinic.
so. One fortunate thing, we went through that building extensively, I could not find any asbestos in there. It was built pre-asbestos.
Oh,
There's
good.
probably lead paint, but that's not a huge thing, we just mixed it with water to keep the dust down.
What year is it, by the way?
1900. 125 years old. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, yeah. So then the third page in that group of papers is just kind of what I have fenced off for about 8 or 9 months. We think we would like to start this project. The demolition we may do this winter, when there's fewer people out, you know, and stuff like that. Say February maybe, and then actually start building it in March or April. Yeah, I think that's about it.
You said you prefer,
Is-
You would
I
prefer to do a
prefer
5?
the 5 units, yes. Yeah. And these are just preliminary sketches. For
And-
the
just saying
final
this
plot plan,
from that
I would have
property
Styles
owner.
do it, come out,
And
mark
this
the
is the
corners and
town.
everything, so we know exactly where everything is. Unless you guys use a different surveyor, that
Because
would be
that's weird that
more.
we have an L shape.
They do a great job.
Styles does a
That's
great
very
job, I've used them on a lot of other projects, so.
And the other item that we've got is if you look at the layout of the properties, we have patios that are 5 foot, but to meet the 6 foot setback, we would need to cut those back just a little bit.
Well, they're just concrete patios,
Yeah.
really don't.
So I don't know if that would be an issue or not.
In the front, on the front on 4th Street, which would be the front of the buildings, I have a 5 foot setback on the 5x8 porches, which is actually 5 foot from the property line, and so it would be 15 feet from the curb.
Oh,
so Kim, is the patio even considered part of what needs to be on the setback, or is it the structure itself?
I think it includes,
Does that patio include a second level
No,
porch like
No,
that?
it is only on the first level.
Oh, then probably not, no.
Probably not.
I don't know, but I'd have to dig into that a little bit. I think realistically,
cut 'em down
I think what
4
you're
foot, but
looking
we
at
could-
is, you don't want fire jumping from building to building,
Yeah.
and so,
And these would be concrete.
they would be concrete
Yeah, concrete
patios,
patios, yeah.
and they wouldn't have like a wooden privacy fence between them or.
We have discussed possibly putting a wooden privacy fence between the units to split the patio so that the two separate, units have privacy on each side of it.
Oh,
but-
like in the back.
Yeah, like in the back there.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, maybe we could just leave that to whoever buys it, or, yeah. So,
So how much is, do you know how far the building north of you is off their property line?
no, the property lines on the county website are
It's
wrong.
just-
It's just the
understand.
lines on the, yeah,
It's about 6 foot, I think.
yeah.
I was trying to scale that out on my computer and use their little measuring tool, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I came up with 6 to 8 feet off.
Yeah,
But like I said, when we get real serious about it, we'll hire Styles to come out and mark the property corners and tell us exactly where everything is.
Yeah.
But the rear patio, where we're talking about, that would include the upper patio.
No, there's
No,
no upper
no
patios,
upper
there's just
patio.
concrete.
Oh,
Yeah, so that
Okay.
one rendering I have there that shows the back of them,
yeah.
that is for a walkout option.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
should put a big red X through that
But
one.
you're not doing that.
So we
so-
can't do that, there's no hill, yep.
Okay,
So it would just be on the main level, yeah.
gotcha.
We've been kicking around the idea of doing basements in these instead of crawl spaces. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Is there any kind of water, groundwater issues or anything around where we'd have to do an extensive perimeter drain?
Not
Any kind of
not in this-
infiltration, stuff like that, or
not here.
We're not there.
what about radon?
Don't know about radon.
I think radon can pop up
Anywhere.
Anywhere,
Yeah,
So,
yeah, anywhere.
we have one in our house, we're closer to the bluffs.
Right, right.
But
Well,
but I checked for radon and I have nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
are you in the Bluffs?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's just luck of the draw, I guess, huh?
And it might go away at our house and pop up in his, you know?
Yeah.
We have, I build west of Cheyenne quite a bit, and so radon is typically produced by decaying granite, and so there's a lot of that in the foothills, you know, closer to the mountains, and I automatically put it in no matter what, just so
Yeah.
that it can be, there's no problem when I sell it.
Yep.
So,
And right now, currently, there's just a small space under there, underneath where believe it or not, the opera used to perform. And that's about it. The rest of it is just nothing but a crawl space.
We're not sure 100% what the foundation is made of throughout. Part of it's concrete, I don't know about the other part that's
Yeah.
kind of sinking into the ground over there. In the north, what is that, the northeast corner?
Northeast,
So-
yeah.
So I might have missed this, with the 5-unit plan, did you say there would or would not be any parking on the back?
In consideration of the new ordinance, we possibly could move it
Depends on how
forward.
we shift the project closer toward Main Street. If we can shift it more toward Main Street, then yes, we could go back and have some parking back there, which would alleviate an issue there in the front. Right now, the side parking, the way it's striped, and along the front, we should make 2 per unit, but that would take that and move it around and shift it to the back, which would allow more things to do on Main Street if you did that in the future.
So, yeah, I'd like to add that maybe if we replat this and sell them as separate units, I don't know which unit would own the parking spots. That would revert to the city or what, you know, where we would be on that. So I would actually prefer not to do the parking spots if we could restructure the currently laid out parking spots on 4th Street to be 11 feet wide instead of the 14 or 16 that they are now.
Okay. I didn't think we had any spots on 4th Street.
Well, you can kind of see, go to this first page here.
We do, there's a couple of yellow
See those marks?
spots.
right there?
Oh,
Toward
yeah,
curbs,
no,
but
unless
there's
they're
some.
on the actual street, then it hasn't
Okay,
been
it hasn't been done.
it hasn't
Okay.
been done.
So we can probably fit enough spaces without having to add in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
And back to your question about basements, I would recommend it just because I like them. I think it's a safe place to go when we do get bad storms,
Right.
but I think that's ultimately the decision.
With that hailstorm y'all had out here.
Yeah, I did not have a basement at the time, that was not fun.
It's always cheap living space too. As far
Yeah,
as
it's
that
the
goes.
least expensive
Yeah.
square footage you can add to your home, right?
Yep.
On this scale with 5 units, for us to swallow it all at once is kind of hard because we have to do the entire foundation at once. I don't want to have cold joints where they're,
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to hook the foundations together, so. I mean, it's possible, but I would prefer not to do it that way.
Would you have different entry points then for each crawl space, or would it just be one whole crawl space?
It'd be different entrance
Yeah.
points.
Okay.
So, those buildings, when we build them, you would be able to, the only thing the only continuity through the entire structure, each unit has a 1-inch air gap between them, 5-inch drywall, 2x6 wall, 5-inch drywall. So it has a fire separation. The only thing that actually goes across that gap is the siding and the roofing, and that's it. So everything else is separated so that the fire can't jump from unit to unit to unit. You know, if somebody, whatever, I don't know what they would have to do to start a fire even electrically these days, because there's so many safety devices that are required.
Great. Well, thank you, that looks,
You can actually cut it apart with a pocket knife if you wanted to, or just like a little jigsaw or something.
this looks like a really good plan. I'm excited that you're moving forward on this. It also seems like if we were to put it at a 10, that just helps you guys out a little bit, 10-foot setback, so. Looks like that was a good suggestion today from Kim.
I liked it. I was like, yes, maybe we can do 6 units.
Great, well, I'm excited to see this move forward.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you guys for being here.
So we have
What-
your
what-
blessing.
All right.
The contract is contingent upon city's approval of our site plan and stuff. So we can't move forward with the purchase offer until we get approval. So I don't know if that requires a vote of the council, or not, but that's,
Well, we can't really vote on this as it is today, just because it's not a formal permit.
Yeah.
But,
There's some blank forms.
We meet again on the 8th.
but we do meet on the 8th, and so,
you are meeting on December 8th?
yes.
Oh,
Oh, okay, because it wasn't on the website.
yeah, I didn't see it on the
Yes.
calendar.
So we'll meet again on the 8th. So if you would like to do that part and have that in by, what, would that be the 5th?
What I do, what's that?
The building permit?
Yeah,
Have the
yes.
building permit in by the 5th, we can get it on the agenda for the 8th, and happy to take a look at it and give you an answer at that time.
That'd be great. And do you, anybody have any, by the way, those guys, they actually have records going back to the original deeding of that property to the lodge, which goes back to, and some from goes back to when it was built. And one of the members had donated the money. And then it has, I think, 3 different times when the city had leased the building at various points during the years. Yeah, so it's an amazing group of archived records and stuff, so.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
some really neat stuff in there to read. Any questions or any concerns anybody has?
I have a quick question.
Shoot,
Currently, the address is on Main Street.
yes.
If these front entries will be facing Fourth, would we need to alter that and give you addresses on Fourth?
Probably
Yeah.
need to look at doing that on Fourth and maybe coordinate that with post office and making sure they're happy. I know that is, I've dealt with that before in other locations, and they're sometimes a little bit more of a challenge.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's PO boxes here, would the post office even care?
You still register.
Yeah, we just have to get it
physical.
registered with them. I think our biggest challenge right now is we so far haven't been able to establish anything for Prairie View.
Okay.
Now, are they going
I think
to,
within town it will be fine.
are they gonna, I was gonna ask, are they gonna require at some point to have like multiple unit and have boxes out? Because if that's gonna be an expense, we'll put that into our plan
I
and
don't
make sure we
think
have
so.
that.
You shouldn't come.
Well, everybody has to go to the post office for their mail here anyway. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't know as Pine Bluffs is expanding, whether or not that was gonna be something that would need to be
I
done.
don't think right there at that point. I think that Prairie View might be a different beast because it is geographically separated, but
Yeah.
I don't see an issue.
And our hope is if this works out, then I like looking at a lot of these vacant buildings downtown. I'm glad to hear you guys working with those, because we think that's where we could get some really good affordable housing and rentals in, repurposing some of
Retrofit
those.
existing buildings?
Yep.
Awesome.
That'd be
There's
fantastic.
a few around, I drove around a little bit and saw them, and yeah, I don't know who they all belong to and stuff like that, if it's city properties or private owners or, so.
Yeah, we can visit with you about that. We know a lot of the property owners and kind of what their
Okay,
thoughts are.
through the grapevine and from everybody I've talked to in the real estate industry, you guys have a housing shortage, especially in the rental department.
Definitely.
Yes.
And the rentals that are out there are kind of grandfathered and they're pretty low rent too, so
Yeah.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
You were correct.
Yeah. What's on the horizon for Pine Bluffs? What's gonna make Pine Bluffs grow?
More houses.
My kids.
I was gonna support more houses.
Yeah. There's,
I
a-
heard you.
Are there industries slated to come into Pine? I mean, I know we have the missile facilities.
Sentinel project,
Yeah.
proximity to Cheyenne, people that wanna live not in Cheyenne.
Right,
The whole county is growing.
Yeah.
We'll grow with it if we have a place for people to come.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
We have some existing businesses now.
My
where
businesses
people
and the
have to-
businesses I'm associated with are all growing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, say that again?
The businesses that I own and the ones that I'm associated with are all on a pretty rapid growth trajectory, so.
we have a lot of employees that commute from Cheyenne to
Yes.
Pine Bluffs. That would probably live in Pine Bluffs if there was something
If there was
that
something
fit the
there, yeah.
needs for their family.
yeah, and we did look at the possibility of renting these out, simply because as you're growing the project out there, the frame carpenters and plumbers and things are gonna wanna come, aren't gonna charge trip charges or have workers. If they can house them here locally, it's a little easier and better for them. So we did look at that possibility as
I
well.
let those guys live in our house. I work with them every day, yeah.
So, but yes, and we appreciate your time and allowing us to address you. Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So December 8th, we'll be back, is that at 6 o'clock again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna stick around for
Yeah.
that? Good, yeah, that'd be great.
Great. Any other visitor comments from all of our fans here today? Department reports? Jen?
No updates for me, but I do wanna say the town's looking nice and pretty with all the Christmas lights that are up. Well done there.
I have nothing to report, new to report.
Okay, nothing for me today. Dennis?
Well, at the landfill, they set a record. They had 2,300 loads in October, which is amazing. And one of the programs that we implemented there at the landfill was to have the employees pulling scrap iron, scrap metal in particular, out of the landfill and recovering it. And we were gonna share the revenue from the sale with the employees. In the last year, well, it's only been 11 months, but we settled up in the 11 months. They pulled out over 1 million pounds
Kidding.
of metal out and generated over $110,000 in revenue. And we shared 55,473 of it with the employees at the
great.
landfill. They all basically got about a $4,000 bonus, all the full-time employees did.
That's a pretty good.
And-
That's awesome.
And in previous sales of the landfill, they made twice as much money. The landfill made $55,000 in revenue from the scrap, and the previous records that they had were like $10,000 in a year. So it made a huge impact. It's 1 million pounds of stuff that we didn't bury, which is amazing.
It's awesome.
And the employees were ecstatic. They just thought that was the greatest Christmas bonus they'd ever gotten. So
Nice.
big success there.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Do you have a landfill here in Pine? Or just over
It's by Burns,
Okay,
but it's the Laramie County landfill.
right, okay, that was, I thought perhaps you were speaking of a different one that I had already researched that one by Burns.
I just happen to be on the board of directors of the Laramie County landfill.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
yeah, it's accessible, and they do accept refuse and stuff from,
I called them to make sure we could haul it there when we knock it down, so.
okay,
Yeah, the lady I talked to was very nice, very helpful.
yeah, I'm sure
I
she
think it's
was.
gonna be about a 1 hour round trip. Drive
Probably.
there.
Yeah,
Up and
that's
drive
about
back.
right.
I just have an update, but we'll
We'll
handle
chat
it
with you in a bit on that.
executive session, yeah.
Okay. Leanne?
The only update I have is we got the proposal back from R.L. Banks, the engineer that I had contacted about helping us with the quiet zone. I put it in your council pack, but it looks like we could probably get their services, get everything taken care of except signage for 5,000 or under. So I wanted to give you guys a little while to look at that, and we can vote on it at the next meeting.
I thought that looked really good.
I did too.
Do we have money to pay for
I
it?
was excited.
Huh?
Do we have money to pay for it?
Do we have money for an engineer? Yes. I have to ask the boss.
It's tight, but we have 5,000.
Not 25, which is
Not
what the
25.
railroad wanted.
We're approaching the limit on how much we can squeeze the turnip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leanne. Kim?
We're actively working the audits right now. The goal is to have them all done by the end of the calendar year. And just as a reminder, we're working on some past audits that were behind just because we were struggling to find time and a schedule with one of the audit firms in Cheyenne, so we were able to reach out to some other communities and found a different firm that was able to fit us into their calendar, so, yep.
Thank you. All right, anything else from the body?
I move to adjourn
Oh,
and go into executive session.
thank you. We'll, move to enter executive session. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thank you. We'll enter
I
executive
wrote a couple
session.
local things on there.